Hello. We discuss about this ATP as a currency of the cell. Myself, Professor Kamthani DC from the Department of Microbiology, Sri Gurupati Swami College, Purna. This ATP, this is having the major important role in case of this metabolism, and this is acting as an energy source in the metabolism, and this was discovered by the scientists Fritz Albert Lippmann and Hermann Kalker in 1941. This adenosine triphosphate it is also known as the ATP, and it is referred as the energy currency or the powerhouse of the cell, and this is similar to keeping this money in a bank, and this ATP can be used to store energy for future reactions. This is an end product of the processes of photophosphorylation. This animal stores the energy obtained from the breakdown of foods as the ATP. This adenosine triphosphate, this is an organic compound and heterotope that provides energy to drive many processes in living cells. This is the figure of ATP, and this is showing the structure of ATP, ADP and AMP. This is the nitrogen base adenine, and this is the ribose sugar, this is the pentose sugar. This adenine base, it is attached to this ribose sugar and forming this adenosine unit, and this adenosine unit, it is attached to this phosphates. The 3 phosphate groups are present, and this is forming the nucleotide. This is having nitrogen base adenine, the sugar ribose and this phosphate. Therefore, this is forming the nucleotide. This up to this is forming the AMP structure, adenosine monophosphate. And here having 1 phosphate group attached with ribose sugar and adenine base, and this AMP plus 1 again phosphate, this is forming adenosine diphosphate. This is having 2 phosphate groups, while this ATP, this is the adenosine triphosphate having 3 phosphate groups attached with the adenosine unit and forming the ATP. This having the 3 main structures at nitrogen base, that is adenine, sugar, that is ribose, and chain of 3 phosphate groups bound to the ribose. The phosphate tail of ATP is the actual power source, giving the energy to the cell. This available energy is contained in the bonds between the phosphate and is released when they require the energy. This energy is released by addition of the water molecule, that is the hydrolysis phenomena, and the hydrolysis of 1 ATP molecule, this gives 7.3 kilocalories per mole of the energy. Usually outer phosphate, this is removed from the ATP and forming the energy. When ATP it is converted to adenosine diphosphate, the form of the nucleotide having only 2 phosphates, because 1 phosphate it is removed and the energy it is released. Then this ATP is able to power cellular processes by transforming a phosphate group to another molecule, and this is called as the phosphorylation process. And this phosphorylation process carried out by the special enzymes. There is continuous breakdown of the ATP as well as there is continuous synthesis of this ATP. This ATP it is synthesized from adenosine diphosphate and the phosphate through the process that is the cellular respiration, and the enzyme required for the synthesis of ATP, it is the ATP synthase enzyme, it is there, and this converts ADP and the inorganic phosphate forming the adenosine triphosphate, that is the ATP. This Three processes are included in case of the formation of the ATP. First one, glycolysis. Second one, tricarboxylic acid cycle, that is the TCA cycle. And last one, oxidative phosphorylation. In eukaryotic cells, the two last reaction, TCA and this oxidative phosphorylation, this occur within the mitochondria. These electrons are passed through the electron transport chain and ultimately forming the free energy, and this is capable of driving the phosphorylation of ADP. This is the basic overview of the ATP production process. Here glucose, it is there, cell membrane. The glucose, it is outside, it is taken inside, and here glucose, it is broken down to pyruvate, and the process, it is called as the glycolysis. Here ATP molecules are synthesized. Net ATP molecule, these are the two ATP molecules. Then pyruvate, it undergoes the TCA cycle, and this is the mitochondria, and this TCA cycle, this produces the CO2, then H2, and ATP is released. These electrons which are released, this pass through this oxidative phosphorylation, it is there. This is the electron transport chain, and this ADP plus inorganic phosphate, this is forming the adenosine triphosphate, that is the ATP. First reaction, this is the glycolysis. Second one, that is the TCA cycle, and next one, the oxidative phosphorylation process. These three processes forming the ATP. Thanks for your watching.